Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm taking a look at the high-grade Lightning Buster Gundam, once again from that Gundam Seed movie, Gundam Seed Freedom. I got this right here through Hobby Link Japan, link in the description. Now let's check it out. So jumping on into the build of this kit, and as you'd expect from a Seed high grade, there's a lot of plastic inside of this box, but at the same time it's a relatively simple build. This is extremely similar to a kit we would have seen before, which was the Dual Blitz Gundam, as it does share the same GAT frame inside of it. This all builds up in a nice, simple, but very cool kind of way. It's rock solid. It contains that Seed action system, which has some great articulation. And when it comes to some of the unique aspects about this, of course, the weaponry is very, very unique. First off, we've got an additional kind of unit just above the waist unit that we build up all the handle sections for using with those big old cannons. We'll mention we do have some stickers inside of this box. Primarily, these are for all the lenses on it. There are lenses in these particular handles. And probably the single worst aspect about this kit is those orange stickers right there. They go onto those Buster Gundam cheeks on the face. That is really sad that these are, well, prominently right on the face of a Gundam. These are not awesome at all. They kind of bend round edges, which is not cool, and they don't look good. Not at all. We do have some other stickers on the head. Of course, the usual eye stickers, head camera stickers. I will say one little bit of a tip. I do find it's a lot easier to ignore Bandai when sticking on the eye stickers and put them on after you put on the mouth muscle, because then it's super simple to line them up and you don't get any of that kind of crooked eye nonsense. The torso, once again, is very similar to what we would have seen in the Blitz. There's a nice little kind of design to the ab crunch. It is a C-clip, but it does seem like a reinforced C-clip, and all the parts just build on nicely around that. One of the most, I guess, impressive aspects about this kit is the shoulders. When you actually build up the arms and the shoulders for using with them, the kind of grey segment inside of it is actually a full unit, giving the shoulders an actual kind of internal grey structure, which does seem a lot more premium. This is cool, and it kind of reflects it sharing a similar frame to the Strike Gundam inside. But speaking about negative points, there is one thing that really stood out to me about this kit. The orange parts have massive gates for some reason. So we've got these on the knees, we've got them on the shoulders. These I do not recommend nipping out at all, or you're going to get some massive stress marks. I recommend filing these. I used sanding sticks on the waist orange section. I used absolutely nothing on the knees, cut them raw, and I did use a glass file up on the shoulder sections, and that I felt I got the best actual result from with the least amount of effort. Finally, then we do have the cannons around back. There's a lot of parts to these. They build up very simply, they're massive, and they are quite cool. Once again, stickers for the lenses, that is usual enough, and then they attach onto the backpack on a simple ball joint attachment kind of rig. Overall though, nice, impressive, but a couple of kind of needlessly gnarly aspects to the build. Anyway, let's check out the aesthetics. So jumping into the aesthetics, and there's what the high-grade Lightning Buster Gundam looks like out of box, just snapped together with some cleanup, and I did do a little bit of panel lining towards the front. But the first thing I did actually notice about this is there isn't really a whole lot to panel line. Surface-wise, it is definitely a very plain-ish Gundam. This is 100% the Buster Gundam through and through, with some nice new weaponry round back. And overall, as far as high grades go, this is very, very nice. The layering of parts, especially on the torso and up on the shoulders, does look incredible, and this is one nice version of the Buster Gundam. So like I already mentioned, this is a kit right here that shares a lot in common physically with this right here being the Dual Blitz Gundam. They're both on the front of the box together, and you can actually see a lot of things do have a very similar, yet at the same time, kind of different look about them. The only thing, however, that is truly shared between the two is the frame. You can kind of see it coming out above the calf section there a little bit, and you can see the feet are a little bit on the similar side. Some design aspects are similar, but as you can see, for the most part, they are thoroughly different kits. So just like with the Dual Blitz, this kit is somewhat let down by its color separation. With the Dual Blitz, all of the thrusters around back are way off from what they actually should look like. But thankfully, things aren't that bad on this kit. Honestly, the only real killer aspect that is negative are those cheeks on the face. It's just two little orange pieces would have made the huge difference here. But yeah, your only choices are to use the stickers or to paint these parts up. But yeah, the stickers do not look too great. They are shiny, so they don't look like plastic. They are obviously stickers, and they do bend around some edges. Besides that, we do have some other stickers, some odd ones right here in the crotch. They're kind of just two circles that look absolutely out of place, like there should be another piece like attached on over them, but there is not. Compared to what we're seeing up on the shoulders with those nice clear parts, the bits on the crotch there, definitely quite the letdown. Again, I recommend getting a little bit of metallic green paint out. Overall, however, this is a very nice looking kit. As usual, there it is under a few different kind of lights, natural light, various different kind of lighting so you can see what it looks like. Sometimes, like I said before in other videos, this studio lighting can kind of wash things out or make things look not exactly like they, well, kind of look. So this gives you another little bit of an idea of what it will look like depending on different lighting situations. Overall, the color scheme is nice. I love the overall color scheme of beige, orange, and green that we get on the Buster. It's exactly the same as I remember off one of my favorite kits, which is the Master Grade. The cannons round back mean some serious business. This kit has some massive cool shoulders, and those little green effects inside of it, those green clear parts, really do make those shoulders pop. Pretty cool. Overall, across the Lightning Buster, we've got some very nice detailing, like I mentioned, especially on the chest and the shoulders. On the chest, we've got these nice little heavy plates in grey, color-separated cockpit hatch in orange, those absolutely bright green, I assume they glow under blue and black light sections up in the shoulders. And around back, this looks fantastic too. Those big cannons, nicely detailed. A lot of panel lining opportunities on these. And we do have some opening hatches with some missiles inside. Very, very nice. However, I will mention those particular missiles, they are meant to be in orange. So jumping into that full 360-degree spin so you can see absolutely every angle of this thing for yourself. It is one nice looking high grade. It is a little bit plain in some regards, but that does make it anime accurate. A lot of the classic Buster Gundam stuff is here, which I love. We've got missile pods, this time rearranged around at the back, that cool big armored section over the head camera, nice looking armored sections in the torso, and overall, once again, a very unique color scheme. Again, the only real major letdown on this kit is the color inaccuracy and the required stickers on the cheeks. Otherwise though, an absolutely gorgeous looking high grade. Now we'll mention on some closer inspection, there are some aspects of this kit that aren't as color accurate as they could be. Inside the shoulders, the recessed parts are meant to be in grey, same goes with some of the thrusters around back, and even the recessed aspects around those little kind of green sticker parts in the front skirting aspect parts. All of those are meant to be in a grey. Again, not the worst, but kind of similar to what we would have seen on the Dual Blitz. Onto a little bit of a size comparison, and as you can see, the Lightning Buster Gundam is essentially standard Gundam height, but if I actually turn them all to the side, you'll see it does have a lot of mass round back thanks to those big old cannons. It's got a lot more dynamic angles as well to its overall design than these classic kits, but head height wise, it's pretty much normal. Beside another couple of main Gundams, that's Gundam Barbatos and Gundam Exia, both high grades, and beside a couple of kits from the same movie being the Immortal Justice and the Rising Freedom. So jumping on into the accessories, and holy shit, I don't think I've ever seen an accessory spread quite like this right here. That is it, that is all that is inside of the box with this kit. So yeah, before I talk about those two little pieces, I'm going to talk a little bit about the compatibility on here. First off, when it comes to the hands, these are the same hands we've seen across this line so far, so this will be able to hold all of the Seed Freedom weapons and pretty much every high-grade weapon out there. And as you did see from the accessory spread, there is no alternate hands, sadly. As for the accessories we do have in here, it's just these two little bits, and we might as well get into those. So what these little pieces are for parts forming a little section inside of the waist. These parts are the high energy beam guns. These fold out from the waist section just like so, and these parts shooting off to the side, I actually thought these were the handles. The handles are actually up top. You slide these little segments off like this and attach on the alternate parts that we have in here, because these are the barrels of these high energy beam guns. So then you just pop the hands onto the handles up top. This is easy to do. Thankfully they didn't make these handles completely flush to the hands, so you can actually get a little bit of wiggle around with the hands on top of these, and in the end it does work out nicely, and there's a little bit of a pose. Overall, interesting. Some nice tucked away little weapons. So the main event when it comes to the Lightning Buster Gundam are those big old cannons around in the back, which are the MBMPGs. These can go either under or over the arms. When it comes to over the arms, they flip up over the shoulders just like so. They lock onto that nice well, they don't lock, but they slot very neatly into the shoulder armor sections, which have an almost top of a hexagon kind of look to them, and they attach together almost like teeth. Then you bring out the bottom sections of the cannons, they swing up like so, lock into position, and these look fantastic. They're big, huge, and they look really, really nice. They're nice and neat. symmetrical and pretty cool. There's a little bit of a pose of what it looks like with them out, as well as those high energy beam guns slung underneath. So as well as over the shoulders, you can have these slung under the arms as well. In order to do this, first off, I just put away the high energy beam guns on the hips. I'm not sure if you need to do this or not, but it is what's shown in the manual, so I did that. Bring them around underneath just like so. It's a very seamless, 2 ball joints, very simple, but getting this into a pose is a little bit funny. It always feels a little bit awkward for one reason or another. One main reason is there is no handles on the side of these like we would have seen with the classic BUSTER Gundam, so where you're meant to put the hands, which have nothing held in them, is a little bit, well, random. Bandai just have them tucked kind of beside the guns a bit, so that's what I went for, and overall this is what I got in the end. So not too bad, but they're kind of cooler over on the shoulders. This is a little bit on the awkward side. So jump now onto the articulation, and first off, the build on this is rock solid. It's all plastic on plastic joints, so this is absolutely solid, which is always nice. Test pose time. So overall, the articulation on this is nice. It's a little bit funny though. I find it hard to kind of get the poses I want out of it sometimes. It's really good all round, except it is a little bit limited at the ab crunch and quite a little bit at the hips. The hips and the knees to the ankles kind of all don't really work out the greatest, so it doesn't get too deep down into that lunge. The ankles are kind of funny because you think for jumping and flying poses you could point the toe down. You can't. It moves mainly in that direction, which is an interesting choice, definitely. Overall, nice, not perfect, and you will get most of the poses you want out of it, just nothing overly dynamic. So anyway, that right there is it for the review of the high-grade Lightning Buster Gundam. A very nice Gundam kit, definitely. Not as good as some of the Seed Freedom high grades we saw before, but definitely a very nice, modern plastic on plastic, very nicely color separated, rock solid, modern high-grade kit. It does have some color inaccuracies here and there, nothing that isn't too difficult to make up for yourself, and nothing really critical. Besides that though, aesthetically it's absolutely beautiful. The Buster Gundam colors always look phenomenal. This almost looks like a micro version of the Master Grade with a little bit of an aesthetic mix-up of all the different elements on it. The massive cannons are very nice, the way they align almost like wings. Pretty much everything is awesome besides those cheek stickers. When it comes to the accessories, there's nothing really in here, but the cannons are nice, the waist cannons are nice too, but it would have been nice to get some alternate hands, especially because a lot of the time they spend their time holding on to nothing. Finally then, when it does come to the articulation, it's very, very good, but at the same time it just feels a little bit lacking at times. Every time I try to get into a bit of a pose, I feel like everything could go a little bit further and it ends up looking a little bit awkward. The biggest letdown is definitely the way the toes cannot point downwards, so most aerial poses look a little bit funny, but overall you will get most ground and aerial poses looking pretty good. It's just, it could be a little bit better. This right here is gold tier, not as great as modern high-grade kits could be, but it's still a very, very nice high grade. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and as always, I will see you next time. As always, I can't finish this video without special thanks to those who support the channel on the memberships as well as over on Patreon, including Abraxas, Caleb Engelhardt, Joe, Orgy59061, Shadowwolf179, 10 Soldier YT, and Van Fawn.